Do you spend more time in the gym than you need to? Do you train hard every single lift? It is very easy to overcomplicate your training in the gym. Here's what you need to know about both intensity and volume. Volume consists of how much total work that you do in the gym. This is how many exercises and reps that you do. Intensity consists of how hard you train in the gym, including going to failure. Now, both of these things are very important to any lifter, but which one is actually better? According to studies and bodybuilders, going to failure isn't completely necessary. Now, this is only if you train with higher volume. However, if you train with lower volume, then going to failure on most or all of your sets is very beneficial. Think of it like this. When you go to failure, you push your muscles until they can't push any more weight. But the more of this that you do, the more that you damage the muscle and need to recover. It is definitely often misunderstood that the more volume you do, the more you're going to grow. But this is definitely proven to be wrong because you don't want to be spending too much time in the gym over fatiguing your muscles. Nearly everyone in the fitness industry has switched to low volume, high intensity training, and this is for one reason. It simply leads to more muscle growth. Unless you're on a bunch of anabolic steroids, then obviously higher volume is probably going to benefit you more. Now, within volume training, there's two things that you can do. You can train with high volume or you can train with low volume. These are both often misunderstood because everyone benefits from a different amount of volume. Some people may benefit from 6 sets of chest a week and some may benefit from, say, 15, and each one of these can be used in different ways. From an optimal approach, low volume is by far better, but from a ego lifting, kind of more silly lifter type of approach, high volume isn't as viewed as negative, and it's not viewed as negative in general. But from a more silly approach, high volume is more common and can lead to better results for some people. An example of a leg day on a low volume training split would be to do 2 quad movements, 1 hamstring movement, as well as hitting calves, adductors, and any other necessary muscle groups. This way you hit all of the muscle groups needed for a stimulus, but you focus on either hamstrings or quads. And I do recommend doing a quad and hamstring focused leg day to focus more on that specific muscle group. An example of a high volume leg day would be to do 2 to 3 exercises for both quads and hamstrings, as well as hitting calves, adductors, and any other necessary muscle group. This way you're doing much more exercises and sets for your muscle groups, most likely causing too much fatigue and needing more time to recover in between each session. Now, both of these training styles do help you build muscle. However, it does make more sense to target each muscle and provide a good stimulus rather than overtrain it. It is pretty easy to overtrain, and a lot of people don't realize that they're overtraining a certain muscle group and wondering why growth is not happening and they're not seeing a ton of growth on that muscle group. I recommend doing between 6 to 10 sets per week per muscle group that you're trying to target. This is sufficient for muscle growth, and it is much better to look at it from doing a lower amount of sets to provide a stimulus rather than going way too far, spending way too much time in the gym, and just continuously hitting that muscle group until you basically can't even recover at that point. You can do more sets than this, or you can do less, just see what works for you. Intensity is clearly important in the gym. The harder you train, the more successful your lift is. That is, unless you're going absolutely insane and basically just trying to ruin your body and ruin your muscles, but I don't recommend going down that path. Is it needed to train to failure every single set? No. You will see the same growth by going near failure on most sets rather than going to failure on every single set. The point of going to failure is to train your muscles enough to where they are fatigued, because when you recover, your muscles need to understand that you aren't able to lift a certain weight and that they need to lift that weight the next time, so they decide to get bigger. And this causes muscle damage that needs to be repaired. Or in other words, you are providing a stimulus by lifting, and your recovery and protein is your response to that stimulus in order to create growth. Additionally, if you take enough time to recover, then your muscles will grow from the stimulus. But if you are someone who hits arms every other day, you are most likely not going to grow as much because you are continuously stimulating that muscle and not giving it enough time to recover. Simply doing 3x10 on all of your exercises with moderate weight is not enough to grow sufficient muscle. Tension and heavy weight is very important to muscle growth. It is nearly the most important factor. Now, this includes good form and swinging the weight. Now, personally, I don't have completely good form on every single set. This is because I load heavier weight on certain exercises just to create more tension and just allow my body to get used to lifting heavier weight so I can easily progressively overload. Intensity is viewed in different ways, and making sure that you know how to use it strategically is going to allow you to have much better growth. The most optimal way to incorporate intensity in your lift is to go near or to failure on all or most of your sets. This will cause micro tears within the muscle or stimulus, leading to an effective workout. That is, if you recover afterwards. You really don't want to train with lightweight. This is because it doesn't actually challenge your muscles and make them want to get bigger in order to lift heavier. Developing a strong and disciplined mindset will allow you to push past comfortability and be much more successful in the gym. In order to know what's best for you, do your own research. Use these tips to further ensure that you're making progress in the gym. Building muscle is very simple when you know what you're doing and you have high knowledge of how to lift, how to nutrition properly, and how to recover. It takes years of experience to build a great physique, as well as have high knowledge of what is right and wrong in the gym. Also keep in mind, you may not enjoy training a certain way, and this is totally fine. Personalizing your workouts is the key to having good lifts and making good progress. Training with good intensity and the correct amount of volume for you is going to result in great gains. By optimizing both of these things, your workouts are going to be very successful. You will realize that they are the two most important factors within the gym. Factor in great recovery and great nutrition, and you will begin to develop a great physique. Thank you all for watching till the end of the video. If you want more content like this, then like and subscribe for weekly videos. I'll see you in the next video.